Malaysia's food ambassador,
Chef
Wan!
Wan!
Thank you, Steve. Apa khabar? Sebenarnya tadi dah pergi kencing 3 kali dah duduk kat belakang tu. Pakcik rasa, bukan pakcik, Tok rasa macam kalau ada getah nak ikat je. Tahulah dah tua-tua ni kan, you cannot, like afford to sit for that long without going to the toilet. It's so cold dalam ni, ya. Anyway, so lovely to see everybody. And tadi duk tengok Raja yang performance tadi dia bagus sekali, dan juga Kak Oji, ya. So much energy, I cannot believe that woman kan. But I have to tell you lah, when they wanted to don't say she resigned lah, maybe maybe terminated kan, from TV3 lah kan at that time kan. Dengar mampu, and I was offered, to take melody. But then I was thinking, how lah? She's the queen of everything, Mulut dia, ya Allah, if you think my mulut dia lagi terror. So in the end I surrender, no lah. I asked some people advice, Chef Wan lah, you better sit into your dapur lah. Because that program only, talk about people punya hal lah, orang punya cerita lah, all the nasty thing, you don't want people to spit at you, you say, too nice people like you cannot lah. So I said like, okay lah, then I tak jadi lah ambil lah, But anyway, so here we goes, today's my story lah. When I reflect back, bila Wan ingatkan balik zaman saya yang berkecimpung dalam TV selama 20 tahun, I look back at, for example, now where I'm standing, my show on Fox, East Bites West, is seen, almost 58 country around the world. Mana saja saya pergi, whether I'm in Barcelona, whether I'm in Sydney, or I pergi Pulau Fiji ke, I'm sure some of you have seen the show. Masuk ke pasar, mana saja, ke Porto, ke Spain, everywhere. Just about almost so many people recognize me. Alhamdulillah. And for many years, I've always wanted to build that brand for Malaysia, international. Because abang selalu percaya, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. Kita kata orang Melayu, di mana ada kemahuan, di situ ada jalan. Kalau tak ada tu, yang lain tu ialah malas lah. Tak nak buat tu, tak nak ni, bagi macam-macam excuses. Of course boleh, kan? So that's why for me, jarang abang bagi excuses, melainkan berusaha, bekerja keras. Macamlah juga tadi when we were talking, with OG and all that, and then you can see, how her spirit, semangat dia, and semua, apa yang OG bercerita tadi tu, ada juga pada abang juga, So that's why you notice a lot of successful kita, person, you will notice, will have that kind of, kata enthusiasm, semangat, keyakinan diri and all that to push forward, And even tadi when I was looking at all the points by Mr. Raja, one by one, apa yang kita tengok semua tu saya totally agreed, dan saya juga melalui apa yang beliau dah orang kata tunjukkan tadi, dicatat di atas sana, It's almost the same. So let's begin when my story. So when I think it's nothing but hard work. So hari ni, for example, I was sitting down the last few days. I just moved to my new house. Banyak sangat kerja. So here I am, dengan tak ada maid. Saya lah naik, 3.5 floor, cleaning up the room and doing so many things. Taking care of my mother, cooking for her, feeding for her, sending her to my sister's place, rushing. And then going back to my library upstairs, looking at all my appointment. Semalam, meeting dengan Argentina punya duta, ambassador. Before that was dengan Croatia, dengan Chile. So I'm planning for my next trip. In February 8 ni nak bertolak ke Brazil. We're going for the Rio Carnival. And then, then comes Peru. And then we're going to Bolivia. Then we're heading to Argentina. And then it's Chile. All semua benda ni, saya merancangkan dengan sendiri. So that's why saya percaya, kalau kita rajin berusaha, insyaAllah apa saja yang kita nak buat, boleh jadi. Because the door is open for you. Samantara tak atau tidak. Tapi macam mana nak buat dia? Jadi ini kena fikir, kena merancang, time management, kena ni, saya kadang-kadang orang tengok, oh my gosh, Evan, you can do so many things, lari sana, lari sini, orang kalau follow Instagram I takut, because tengok, saya ni macam lipas kudung, kulu kile, on top of my work, I have also worked for the government, untuk Tourism Malaysia, untuk Maltrade, kelari kulu kile, but I've always enjoy what I do. because that passion, semangat yang ada. So let's begin. My life started, sebenarnya when I was, I think about 3 ke 4 tahun lah, when I had to move from Singapore, back ke Kuala Lumpur. My mother, Chinese, Nyonya, peranakan Cina masuk Islam. So married my father daripada Melaka, so they moved to Kuala Lumpur. So when we were young, there were 7 of us in the family. So bayangkan, 7 adik-beradik, ramai. And saya yang tua, so I'm the eldest, and I have all the other siblings. Kalau saya contohlah umur katakan 9 tahun, 10 tahun, ada adik lain, kita ada 3 laki-laki dan 4 laki-laki dan 3 perempuan, and all of us, kalau you bayangkan semuanya 1 year after another. So kalau saya umur katalah 10 tahun, ada 9, 7, 8, 6, berdikit-dikit, macam orang kata football team. Because those days tak ada television. Bangsa touch and go. Kan? So tahulah. And then bilik askar pula satu bilik aja. Kalau my parents nak buat apa-apa benda ke, kita semua kena keluar. Duduk kat bilik tu. So duduklah. Jadi tahulah dulu kati askar kan bising kan. Kita dengar lah. Itulah cerita dia. It's so funny. So this is something that I remember when I was a young child. What happened lah. So every year, my mother would give birth. Astaghfirullahaladzim, beranak. So bila beranak, saya lah jadi mangsa. So those days, bukan ada maid kan. Tak ada mampu, gaji bapa korporal askar cuma $160 je. So saya lah mak bidan, saya lah maid, cuci lampin dengan segala-gala lah. Masak, ubat periuk, my mother semua. And jaga adik-adik. Saya ingat lagi yang terkencing, terberak, yang merangkak. Everywhere, I tell you, and thank God we are going to do a special cartoon very soon. Pasal macam apa, kata cerita Upin tu. Tapi Chef Wan. And we're going to turn this story of my life. Going to be fantastic. You're going to love this cartoon, no? And so I came up with all this idea, And it's very inspiring. It's very inspiring because the cartoon is a history of my life. And macam cerita Lat lah, cartoon Lat kan? Tapi ni Chef Wan, So we're working on that. And it's really an exciting time. Because masa tu kita tak ada, we don't have, benda-benda orang untuk membantu kita. So saya ingat lagi, my mother, when we go to school, adik-beradik kecil-kecil, mak pula, kita menjaga nasi lemak pagi-pagi. Macam si TOG semua menjaga kuih. So my mother bangun pagi 4 lebih, saya kena bangun. Masa itulah saya kena boyan adik. Masa itulah kena buat nasi lemak semua, bungkus semua letak, pergi sekolah, jual depan sekolah lagi. So you can imagine, my day always start daripada balik sekolah. Lepas makan aja, katalah umur 8-9 tahun. Bayangkan, I was only standard 2, standard 3. Balik saja, terus saja pergi jual kuih. Menjaga kuih di camp askar. So imagine, jual bawa kuih ni, balik aja daripada camp military, Air Force camp. Let's say around 5-6 o'clock, budak-budak main bola apa semua. You know what I always do? I would help my mother to grind the chili. Dulu tak ada tau. Dulu tak ada mesin untuk giling chili. So imagine, kita semua pakai batu giling aja. I tell you, I used to sweat like crazy. Basah duduk dekat belakang dapur tu kan. Menggiling sampai tak larat, masuk kat toilet, siram air lagi, basah badan ni. Kuyup-kuyup ni. I tell you, berkilo-kilo nak buat 400 nasi lemak. And dulu tak ada mesin. Because I used to take the batu giling, rub, sweat. So I used to take all my sweat and zam. Walamak. Askar cakap sambal tu memang kau sedap lah. Memang tak pakai asam jawa banyak. A lot of them you find all my peluh drizzling, menitik-nitik. Mampu kau lah. Rantak kau lah. Basah kuyup, So I still tak lupa tu. So habis saja katakan buat giling cili pukul 8, kita makan adik-beradik. Pukul 9 saya dah start tolong mak masak sambal tumis, nasi lemak semua. Masa itulah buat homework, tolong adik. Masa tu letak kertas semua untuk letakkan daun pisang, buat nasi apa semua. So imagine that, by the time we're so tired, 10 o'clock dah fall asleep. Nak masuk bilik tidur tak boleh pula tidur. Sebab dia orang tengah occupied pula dah. So imagine lah, sometimes dah tidur pun kena serik, adik-adik semua keluar, duduk kat luar, tunggulah tak habis-habis lagi ni kan. Itulah dia So so it's funny, that's why today I always tell the military dalam camp askar, kalau nak buat bilik orang kata berek-berek ni, tolonglah bagi 2 bilik sama ada polis ke Air Force ke tentera, because seksa kita anak-anak kecil-kecil nak tidur kan. So this was the moment of my life that as a child kita susah. Mak ni Wan ingat bila cukup bulan selalu tak cukup duit. Bila buka purse ada saja 20 sen, 30 sen lagi 3-4 hari nak gaji askar. So my mother kadang pernah menangis, sedih, susah, that. Because 7 orang nak bagi makan. Bukan senang kan dulu. So, saya cakap dengan mak, masa umur saya 8 tahun, tak ada mak kita menjaga kuih lah. Mak kata, kau ni kecil. Macam mana nak jual kuih kan? Tapi saya semangat kuat. Walaupun kecil, cakap mak, tak apa mak, kita berusaha. Sebab mak saya ni Cina masuk Islam, tak pandai sangat buat kuih Melayu. Saya yang galakkan my mother untuk belajar dengan jiran-jiran tetangga. Sebab saya tengok banyak potential. Orang-orang di luar tu yang pandai buat kuih, tapi tak guna potential sebagai tukang masak atau sebagai buat kuih yang bagus untuk menjaga. So saya cakap, mak pergilah kursus masak, belajarlah dengan Cik Kia, belajarlah dengan Cik Beda, tu dapat semua kan. So mak belajar. Bila mak dah belajar, dapat idea-idea ni, balik kita buat kuih, kita eksperimen, and then we start on the journey selling the kuih. So I always believe, in building my own brand. Even when I was in school, I was very popular. I study hard, belajar, I was the pet of the teacher, selalu jadi monitor, head prefect kat sekolah semua, nanti akan hantarlah buku-buku semua, tolong cikgu apa semua, so I've always had my nice uniform, bangsa orang kata cerewet, daripada kecil, kalau pakaian ni kan, kena rendam ni, baju ni semua kan dengan kanji, dulu kita pakai kanji lepas nila ni kan, sampai gantung tu, bila kadang-kadang terlebih kanji tu kan, uniform tu jadi macam ni, bila pergi sekolah, bukan jalan macam ni kan. Apa pasal kau jalan macam tu? Dah macam Charlie Chaplin dah. Sebab keras sangat dah. Kan dulu kan kita pakai harang kan, serika tu. Serika. Baju sampai keras macam tu. I still remember So that's why. But I love housework. Tolong adik-beradik jaga, because dulu saya percaya, family is so important. Saya sampai hari ni, I always believe, in kata connecting to my family. Family is very important because very close knitted. Masa itulah kita tolong adik-beradik. Swan selalu bercakap dalam hidup, to be successful, never mind about your million, never mind about building your brand, all that. But make yourself successful dulu. Sebelum kita berjaya, kita berjayakan diri kita. Make ourselves successful dulu. By what? By orang kata menyimpan sikap apa? Timbang rasa, kasih sayang, suka tolong menolong, hormat adik-beradik, mak bapak. Simple thing. Everything yang I nak cerita hari ni semua, Allah dah pesan dalam Quran. Cikgu dah pesan, guru-guru dah pesan, semua dah pesan. Tapi hari ni tengoklah apa jadi. So that's why I always build on all this wonderful principle. A good soul is a good soul. A bad soul is a bad soul. If you're a good soul, you will continue to rise. And become successful. It's very hard for you, to feel negative. And ramai lagi energy around you yang negative pun susah nak penetrate into your heart. Because your heart is so strong. Because you have all that building over the years kan. Semangat tu kan daripada kecil kan. So I still remember, bawa kuih ni kan, ramai anak askar ni tu lah. Wow, budak-budak kecil-kecil macam ni pun pandai jealous. You ingat sekarang aja orang ada PhD, dulu pun berlambat-lambat juga. Dia tak boleh tengok kuih mak kita sedap pada dia. Dia sepak lah, dia terajang lah, macam-macam. Oh boy, I tell you, I went difficult time. Because my mother is Chinese, dia orang kata macam-macam. Mak engkau Cina makan babi, mak engkau pengotor, mak engkau ini, mak engkau itu. It's so sad. And I used to cry in school, being bullied by people like crazy. Why? Because my mother is Muslim. Cina masuk Islam. Salah sangat ke? So that's why hari ni kita tengoknya benda-benda macam ni timbul balik. And I didn't understand that. Itu kita akan address that one later. So that's why I went through that. And you know what? All of that actually is fantastic. Because what? Benda tu juga yang membuatkan saya jadi macam api. Fire. Passion. Kan? Lagi orang macam ni, lagi saya lagi ni kan. So that's why I realised that kalau orang buat kita macam tu, apa kita nak buat? Jangan nangis. Don't feel very ni. Take revenge. By what? Study hard. Baca buku. Make yourself clean and very neat. Come to school in time. Jangan ponteng sekolah. Aktif dalam sukan. I was a sportsman. I used to win sampai ke Melaka. For running and all that. I still remember in school and all that. And because why? I want to excel. You know what's my biggest weapon to fight all that energy is to be the best. That's the best. Sampai hari ni pun orang kata, you can hate me, you can tak suka lah whatever I said, because the truth is always the truth lah. Kan? Tapi, my best revenge is always my happiness, my success, and my fabulous lifestyle. Lain tu kau tengok je lah. I would turn round and say, engkau ada. Kan? Kerja kita asyik, menjaga tepi kain orang, mengatur orang buang, tapi kita lupa untuk memaikikan diri kita. So that's why from day one in school, I have already been surrounded by this negativity energy in me. But I excel. I expose myself Bercampur dengan anak-anak macam-macam bangsa. Tak nak semua duduk dengan Melayu je siang malam. Bosan. Balik-balik cerita benda tu. Kita nak kawan anak Cina. Nak kawan anak India. And kita belajar. Kalau anak Cina tu pandai matematik, kita sama-sama belajar. Kalau kita pandai bahasa Malaysia, kita ajar anak Cina. That's how we work those days. And kita sama-sama rise. And kita sama-sama become successful. And we all are still friends until today. So this is how Malaysia should be. This is how it should be. Tapi hari ni macam Raja kata betul lah. Kita segregate diri kita kan. Cina, Melayu apa tu? What's that? What's that? It's so sad. So balik kepada menyaga tadi tu. One kan nanti bila dah belajar all this recipe, kadang-kadang bergaduh dengan my mother. Sebab nak perfect. Buat kari pap, buat kuih koci, buat apa. Semua nak cantik. Semua nak cantik. I didn't know at that time until I went to school and belajar as a chef. That's what you need dalam bidang ni. It's what we call perfection. So that's why daripada kecil kita nanti mulalah nanti buat kek ni, buat tu, selalu praktis to perfect. Ada je kadang-kadang balik sekolah buat ni, buat tu, lepas tu kali pak tukar resipi ni. Sekarang baru saya tahu, rupanya apa yang saya buat masa kecil semua dulu is to be innovative, to be creative. You want to be successful, you want to be different than others. You nak jadi. That's why there's only one chef one. Lantaklah chef banyak lain datang pun kan? Come and go. Tapi chef one juga kan, there's only one chef one. So you want to be different. But for you to be different, you have to have ilmu. You have to have knowledge. Because knowledge is power. Kalau hari ni kita tak ada ilmu, you are nothing. You are nothing. That's why sebab kita ada ilmu lah hari ni, orang macam kita hari ni boleh sampai ke tahap hari ni. Yang the whole world menonton rancangan kita and said, I have a lot of respect for you. You understand that? And then kita tak berhenti situ. Kita belajar lagi. Kita berkursus lagi. Kita absorb, kita ambil ni. Pergi belajar macam-macam to better ourselves. So that's why it's important. So saya memula daripada kecil lagi itulah. Semangat saya jual kari pap, jual kuih, jual macam-macam to perfect. And daripada awal I learn about marketing. Saya learn daripada awal macam mana nak cater to the market. Understanding the market. Saya belajar pasal PR, sales, advertising, jual kuih ni. Kan kita nak apa? Nak bersih, nak cantik, nak baik pada orang-orang. Kan, be nice, be courteous, be respectful of people. Sampai abang-abang askar semua dalam camp tu sayang saya. Saya jadi famous. Padahal saya cuma 8 tahun. Awak ingat sekarang ni Chef Wan dah famous? Sebenarnya saya dah famous lagi dulu lagi. Dari sekolah, dari kecil. Mana-mana di camp askar, abang-abang askar semua suka saya. Dia apa minta tolong beli rokok pergi. Dia kata budak ni rajin. Minta tolongkan basuh polish kasut askar ni, polish, dapat 5 sen. Lepas habis jual kuih ni, boleh tolong ambil beli baju askar-askar ni, pergi basuh baju lagi, dapat 10 sen, 5 sen. So daripada kita curi di orang, baiklah kita kerja kan. And so I can buy the money, pergi Nafi, beli coklat, beli Smarties untuk bagi adik-adik makan. So that's why today, even as I grow old, I've always been a loving person. I've always been a very giving person. It's always about sacrifice made. And then I learn daripada kecil lagi. Betapa penting untuk kita sacrifice. Pertama kali, di dalam rumah kita. Tak usah pergi jauh-jauh dulu. The first lesson is always within our own home. Antara adik-beradik kita, hubungan kita, that's where the first kata human relationship start kan dengan mak bapak kita so important. So if you can do this, insyaAllah you become more successful. So that's why as a child I've always been very responsible. Berusaha, kerja apa semua. So jual kuih balik. Lepas tu bila tolong-tolong cuci semua, but askar semua. And then diorang pula really love my mother punya kuih. So we went for the courses. I always encourage my mother to go into all these military cooking classes. Competition, we went. Yes, we went to the competition. And my mother won many times because she's a great cook. And of course, I'm also the mentor lah. And every time when my mother goes into all this camp askar belajar masak, saya sibuk menyelit. Ikut aja. In those days, the woman don't like the man in the kitchen. Bila dia nampak you masuk aja, dia always tell you, ni besar nak jadi pondan. Ni besar nak jadi faggot. Kau tengok aku, pondan ke? Jalan straight ya. Beranak 2. Cucu. Beranak 2, cucu 3. Tak ada pun aku pondan. Tapi mentality orang dulu, kalau kita masuk dapur je, nak jadi perempuan. Nak jadi pondan. So that's salah. Because you know what? You go in with a lot of passion. But as a child, I've always excelled. Sekolah, belajar, bagus, everything, grade A apa semua. Tapi, deep inside, I've always had this passion. I want to be a chef. I want to be the chef. Tapi zaman dulu tahulah. Macamlah Raja cakap. Every parent nak anak jadi lawyer, doctor, engineer, all the straight A student itu je. You were given that. That's it. The rest tu kalau nak jadi tukang masak kena mampus, nak jadi fondan. My own father put me down. My own father put me down for years. And I used to cry behind the kitchen. So sometimes when I hear my father military truck balik, kelam-kelam kabut I lagi pada dapur. Because I would help my mother. So that's why today I'm so close to my mother. Because why? That's where I learn a lot from my mother. About, consistency. Bila kita masak, quality control. Buat kuih nak kena ada sentiasa quality control. Kena ada consistency. Kalau kuih lapis tu tebal macam ni. Kalau kehalusan kuih nyonya ni macam ni. Kalau pulut serikaya, lembik dia kena macam ni. Tak boleh sari macam ni. So kita ada standard recipe. Kita ukur, sukat. So when I went to the chef school, baru I realized, oh my God, we did it. We had this. So that's why when I went to the chef school, I was a top student. I graduate, 380 student in America is the number one, the best student. Itu my chef school cerita. So imagine that. But because why? Daripada kecil, kita dah ada the practical ni semua keluar. And imagine, masa umur 10 tahun pula, kita susah, I started my first vegetable plot of a garden. So that's why you notice, budak-budak masa kecil semua sibuk main bola, main ni, buang masa, all that. For me, no. Saya selalu percaya macam Ustaz selalu kata, demi masa, manusia selalu dalam kerugian. Kita rugi macam-macam lah. Hari ni tengok spend hours on social media kan. Tak habis-habis mengutuk orang, cari orang punya ni kesalahan, mistake, macam-macam. So much out there, so much shit. Sorry for my language, but this is how it is. People waste so much time. When you can take that quality time to better yourself. Membaiki diri. Contohnya macam Cik Raja kata membaca. Saya dekat library macam-macam buku baca. Macam-macam, bukan saja masak. Pasal journey, travelling, pasal history, pasal culture. Bila orang nak buat pergi ke Argentina dan Chile, terpaksa baca sejarah Argentina. Pasal semua daripada Patagonia, semua pasal Chile, everything. So that when I present my paper, the ambassador dengar like, wow, Chef Wan, you know everything. Sampai macam itulah. So kalau Wan tidak orang kata bekerja keras, malas, cuma letak bawah sana pergi mesyuarat, duduk aja depan ambassador kata, I'm Chef Wan, I'm so big, I'm so popular, I'm so famous, I want to go and film your country. You arrange for me. Mas Ali tengok I like go to hell lah. Kan? But I went to tell them what I can do for them. Macam Norway juga, bila Wan pergi Norway dulu kan, sampai dia kata, wow. Bila Wan nak jadikan diri saya as an ambassador for Southwestern Australia Tourism, every year they pay me a certain amount of fee to be an ambassador and bawa all my fan club to go to Australia everywhere semua. Semua free sponsored pun macam tu juga. This is how I can do it. This is what I can do. So it's so important to have that spirit. But to have that spirit, to have that experience, tenaga, energy, tak guna kalau kita tak pandai guna. Kan? So that's why it's always important. It's not about what you can do for me. It's always about what I can do for you. So that's why Wan nak buat apa semua, saya selalu. So bayangkan, as we are talking now, I'm trying to work with a few investors to even set up, yang kata an Asian, kata culinary academy. Raja, you jangan ambil idea Raja. You jangan, okay? Tapi I might have you so many, to come and help me lah. And this is the first Asian culinary academy dedicated to Asian study. Tak payah lagi nak pergi belajar orang putih, Western apa semua. Kita can go to school where you can graduate diploma in Asian study. Jadi kita can master Thai cooking, Indian, Malaysian, street food, Indonesian. Semua under one roof. Buat apa pergi belajar orang benda putih? Kalau kita tak punya, so kita kalau you nak specialize in orang putih punya dish, fine. But if you're going to go to a chef school and specialize in that and then come back and you tak guna any of those stuff, nak tak guna pate, terin, tak buat all the Western food and all that, and then suddenly masuk Malay kitchen, what are you going to do? And you have zero knowledge. So that's why we need an institution in this country, dedicated to Asian study, food, culture, everything. So that's why I'm trying to work on that. So besides that, one of my projects as well, right now also is my sauces. So I'm doing my brand macam Brahim, but it's going to be Chef Wan. So I'm working with a very big investor, from Hong Kong as well as India as well, but based in Singapore. And the food sauces are going to go all over the world. So that's why, building your brand is so important. So, macam tadi Cik Raja cakap, branding itu kan penting. Because once you build a brand, you letak apa pun orang beli. So I cannot imagine last year, untuk pesta buku, book fair, one was there for 9 days. For 9 days, I walk in from 9 o'clock at PWTC and leave at 6 o'clock. After 9 days, my publisher told me, Chef Wan, we sold, break record lah, 21,000 cookbooks. 21,000. So imagine that. Sampai orang di PWTC kata dengan Wan, tak pernah dalam sejarah PWTC lah kita tengok orang punya ramai beratur to buy a book, a cookbook from a chef lah. Dia kata, tak pernah. This is the first time. Saya sampai tak larat sampai kata nak keluar lidah. Next. Kan, because lah, tangan dah tak larat dah kan. Bergambar. Tell you, But saya layan semua orang dengan baik. Semua saya layan orang dengan penuh kasih sayang. With respect. Saya selalu fikir kadang bila saya penat kan. Syekh Wan sabar Syekh Wan. Kalau tak ada peminat, tak ada you. Kalau dia orang tak ada, you kan tengok dia orang bawa anak, bawa suami, bawa mak saudara, bawa adik. Datang punya jauh, datang nak beli buku tu kan. So saya layan, bercakap. Sampai balik rumah dan malam tidur menang. It's hard. It's tough. But you know what? I'm loving it. I'm loving it because when I pray, I tell Allah, terima kasihlah buka hati saya yang besar. Terima kasihlah beri saya semua peminat yang bagus-bagus, yang knowledge kan. And therefore, that respect back I have to give even more. So that's why very important kan. So that's why in all my years of study, daripada Wan, tadi buat-buat kuis semua tu, then bila Wan di sekolah menengah pula, saya masuk ke asrama. Saya masuk ke asrama tentera, and dipendekkan cerita, masa tu pun susah because my father was in Felda. And you know what? Walau dalam belajar bagus apa semua, tapi masa saya form 1, form 2, form 3, saya buat dobi business. Dengan budak-budak militeri askar ni, nak cari duit 10 sen, 20 sen ni, serika baju. To get extra money. That's why yang kata, mana aja boleh dapat duit, saya beri. Sampai balik, the headmaster report to my father beat me. And I cried. My father say, memalukan dia. Kenapa? Sanggup cuci baju. Engkau ingat aku tak malu ke? Macam aku tak bagi engkau cukup duit. Memang tak cukup. Anak askar lain semua dapat RM50. Saya dapat RM2 dalam envelope. Nak makan apa RM2 satu bulan kan? So it wasn't easy. Because adik-beradik 7 orang, Felda. Masa tu my father left Air Force, masuk Felda, was difficult. But I survived. So macam mana pun saya tahan. So when I finished school, I went to ITM. Saya belajar and ambil diploma. And also finish. Habis belajar sebagai accountant. Dan saya bekerja balik. Pergi ke Australia, studied at University of New South Wales. Dan balik. Kemudian after few years, saya balik bekerja di bank di Malaysia. And I started my career as a banker. So imagine, even as a banker waktu ketika tu, dia orang kata utama Wortley Merchant Bank, and I was an accountant for 7 years to the late MAS punya ni Tan Sri Terjun Namli, the ex MAS Kalau late dah jalan dah. Kan? So imagine. So that 7 years as an accountant, walaupun gaji saya 3,500, but then I realised, hey, you know what? Masa dekat hostel dekat ITM, saya selalu jual Avon. Tak ada duit ni kan? Pergilah rumah sana, bawa makeup, belajar makeup. Laku pula tu. Orang kata nak ada pondan-pondan lah. Janji aku dapat duit. Pergi rumah Cik Beda, Cik Kia, jual apa semua. So kalau bayangkan daripada RM50 jadi 100. And then I realised, jual Amway, jual Tupperware, jual Pyrex. And then I realised, wow, I can even sell ice to Eskimo. Dengan bakat Wan yang ada, boleh buka mulut, bercerita, confident kan semua. Macam jual kuih jugalah kan. Semua dah ada dah. Cukup. All I need to do is just carry the bag. And just sit down with somebody, be nice. And educate them. This is how you use your moisturizing cream. This is how you use your knee. This is how you do your lipstick. Buat skincare and all that. Saya belajar, pergi belajar makeup, belajar apa. Sebab apa saya nak percaya kan? Mesti tahu kan? Because ni knowledge. Kita nak jual orang makeup, kita mesti tahu produk dia kan? So I went to seminar, belajar apa. So I became so good and become so successful. So daripada sale yang saya selalu buat 3,400 jadi 3,000, 15,000 sampai 25,000 sebulan. So imagine that from Avon, Tupperware, Amway, Nutrimatic dulu kan. Apa saja boleh jual. Masa tu kerja bank. Walaupun kerja bank berjaya, tapi saya menyaga. So that year, 7 years taught me many things about business. It taught me about, how to take no for any answer, the art of direct selling. Saya belajar human relationship macam mana kan. Tahulah kadang nak jual barang bukan senang kan. Orang kadang-kadang tak percaya kan. And how to convince people kan, semua kan. So it's so important. So saya belajar. So from that year, then I realised that I was very successful. But I could have stayed there and become even more successful. Tapi itu bukan yang Wanda. So what I did was, after dah habis semua tu, saya rasa, I think this is time for me to change my career. So I, divorced, my ex-wife. Masa tu kita kahwin only 4 tahun, And so I decided that, okay, I'm going to leave all these savings and money and whatever I make all these years in the bank and all that to my ex-wife. Tinggallah dia a few $100,000 to take care of both my children. And I took some, to pay for my school. And I went to enroll myself in a chef school at the California Culinary Academy in San Francisco for 3 years to take, to pursue my dream as a chef. And finally, I have the guts. And finally, I have the money to go out and say, this is what I want. So I went to the bank, I went to the chef school and belajar 3 tahun. And even when I was in America for 3 years, kata dia bukan senang. Masa tu nak tanggung my mother dekat Felda, nak hantar $1,000 sebulan. My ex-wife also $1,000 sebulan. My school fee, my tuition semua, my living expenses in America. And you know what I did for 3 years? I did housekeeping. Cuci jamban orang lepas habis sekolah, kemas rumah, everything. Balik rumah kadang-kadang habis sekolah, let's say habis pukul 1, pukul 2, pukul 3 saya dah angkat beldi, pergi kemas rumah orang pun dapat aja katakan cukup duitnya, every month $400-500 I quickly send to my ex-wife. I tell you, I never forget that moment when sometimes when it's so difficult, duit tak cukup tu, I used to sit down, rindu my anak, then I cried. I say, my God, that is so tough, the challenges I had to go through in school, making the money, sending back home, supporting my mother, my ex-wife, paying for my school fee, that I become so thin. If you look at my pictures, dia kurus sangat because I work so hard. I had only 3-4 hours sleep, and then bila pagi je pukul 5 dah pergi sekolah belajar. But yet, every semester I was the top student. Because you know why? I never fail. And then my notebook daripada semester pertama, kedua, ketiga, all this goes around, to all the different classes. As an example of the best notebook kept by a chef. It become. So that's why one bekerja. So after that, bila one graduate top student, berebut hotel-hotel ambil saya bekerja di Hotel Hyatt for a few years, the Hilton. Then I was also on the cruise ship Royal Viking to Alaska, to the Caribbean. And then my last job, of course, it was in Vancouver in the Chateau Whistler Mountain. And lastly, finally, I took a job as a private chef in Hawaii for 4 years, and I jet set all over the world, traveling, and I had such a fantastic life until I came back to Malaysia, and they put me on television, and they say, we'd like to interview you as a chef, also as a person who's left your career as an accountant and to become a chef. And hari ni, this is what you see. So I think in life, one selalu percaya, kalau kita nak berjaya, kita perlu ilmu yang tinggi, kita perlu keyakinan. That's why every time when I go on television, anywhere I work, mana saja TV around the world, people always say, oh God, it's such a fabulous time working with you, Chef Wan, because you're most generous, you're very kind, you're very sweet, and you make things so effortlessly. Working with you is the best. One kerja dengan Anthony Bourdain, bila shoot Anthony Bourdain show, Chris Collins hantar one text lagi, Chef Wan, dia kata Anthony Bourdain could learn a lot from you. Dia kata, from these few days rakaman, dia kata you practically knock him dead. Dia kata, dia kata kan, because he has to be given scripted everything kan, dia semua pakai script. One tak ada, roll the camera je, mampu kau dah bercakap. Dia kata your energy level is incredible. Even one buat East by West tu, dah habis 45 hari balik, they host a dinner for me in Nobu in London. Dia kata, you're the best TV chef we ever worked with. We've produced people for Nigella, Jamie Oliver, we've also produced for Rick Stein, Floyd and all that. For 21 years, many of the production people, from directors to cameramen, have worked with Floyd for 21 years, Rick Stein 16 years, Nigella macam-macam kan. Dia kata, and I'm telling you, you are the best. And dia kata, the reason is because dia kata, you're very generous, you're very hardworking, you push yourself to the limit, you know what you want to do and say and all that. And dia kata, and it shows on television. Even the most conservative English, dia kata, yang kadang-kadang you cannot make them smile, you make them smile. The barrier just break down. Dia kata, dia kata, you're a jewel. Dia kata, keep that. We love it because the best part about you, dia kata, there's not an inch of diva. Because tahu lah orang putih dia banyak diva sikit. Dia kata kan. Dia kata, tapi you, dia kata, keep that. Because we have big plans this year lah, bulan September, to take you to America. To make you even bigger. So Alhamdulillah lah. So one thing in life dia, bila kita successful, never forget your roots. Never. Always be nice. Always be kind. Always be respectful. Our feet must be on the ground. Nobody is above anybody except Allah Almighty, the Creator. I mean, as far as manusia, love everyone. Because I've been interviewed many times. Many of you seen kan on CNN Talk Asia. I was interviewed on platform with Shah Hussain on BBC World News, CNBC Asia, Channel News Asia. I don't think there are many celebrity chefs in the world who've gone on many of all these big talk shows around the world. So imagine, the world. Saya kadang-kadang kawan-kawan hantar mesej daripada Egypt, kata, bastard, you on CNN. Dia cakap, and I jawab pun tau, when chef one talks, you over listen.
Ladies and gentlemen,